Hey everyone, I am therapist and relationship coach Micah Ross, and I got such a great question after the webinar just this week, and I had to share my answer with everyone because I feel like it's something I didn't address in the webinar and I totally should have. And so this person writes, and I think she's from another country because she uses a fun word that I'm not familiar with. I listened to your seminar. It was good and had a lot of good points, so I tried it out and must have done something so etching wrong because it ended up causing a huge fight. Etching, I don't use that in St. Louis. By the way, it's a rainy day here in St. Louis, and that's why I'm outside. I don't have enough natural light inside, but it was just cloudy when I started making this video, and then it went rainy, so now I'm under my porch, and then you're going to hear cars go by and things like that. So the good part was that it definitely helped us figure out each other's main triggers. I find that I am triggered when I feel overwhelmed by stress and by not feeling valued or important or enough. So I would say that last bit about not feeling valued, important, or enough, you're dead on. You're right. Those are probably some of your triggers. But the feeling overwhelmed isn't a trigger. The feeling of overwhelm is a feeling, but whatever you have interpreted, whatever you most of the time interpret that overwhelm as meaning about you. So there's a way that we cannot take overwhelm personally, and then our triggers aren't involved. But if there's a way that we make it personal about how we can never do enough, how we can never do it right, how we're screw up, then those are our triggers. So feeling overwhelmed might be a really fertile ground for your triggers to come up. So you're going to have to think when you're overwhelmed, what are my triggers here? What does this mean about me? So he is triggered when he feels like he is unappreciated and overwhelmed. So basically they're the same triggers. That was really helpful to know. Anyway, it turned out very well. Thank you so much. Hopefully I can keep practicing ways to de-stress and learn how to feel valued and important. Any tips would be appreciated. So let's start with, sort of a big fight starting. It sounds like there was a point where it escalated, but you also had some really great conversation about what your potential triggers are for both of you. And what I never mentioned in the webinar is that when you're learning new relationship skills, or when you start therapy, things often get worse before they get better. And that freaks a lot of people out, but it's like, if you think about cleaning out under that relationship rug, it's going to be taking out all the elephant poop, and it's not covered up anymore. So we've got to take it out and deal with it, and it often feels worse before it gets better. I think of it like cleaning out my closet. I take everything out, it looks insane, there's no rhyme or reason or organization, and I put it all back in, and I get rid of some stuff, and I weed out, and in the end, it's a lot better. But there's that period of time of mess, stress, and probably some overwhelm. And so, but there's also something about learning new skills that I want you to know. And when our brain is learning a new skill, it never comes without discomfort. And I think that getting through that discomfort period, that uncomfortable period, is tough for a lot of people when it comes to learning new relationship skills. So, for instance, when you're learning a new skill, I'm going to try to do this so it looks right your way. So imagine trying to learn to ride a unicycle. There's a period where you're learning a new skill, but right before you get better and better and better and better and better and better, but right before you master it, there's a dip. And a lot of people give up here. They think, I'm never going to get it. It's not working. And then, soon after that is usually mastery. So mastering relationship skills or mastering a language or learning how to ride a unicycle is no different for your brain. It's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of consistency, and a lot of commitment to stick with these things even when it feels like they're not working. Even when a blow up occurs, stick with it. Revisit the issue when everybody's calm. If blowing up is happening, it's not the time to talk about it. It's time to take a time out. I have once, and maybe I mentioned this in the webinar, I'm not sure. I have once with my husband let something go for 5 days until we both felt calm, but I didn't let it go under the rug. So that stick-to-itness is often the biggest piece that's missing in people creating really big change and getting really big results in their relationship. And it's part of, I think, one of the biggest pieces of the Love, Sex, Kids course that I think is helpful because it offers accountability and support, and it teaches you skills over a 10-week period so that you have time for them all to sink in and to learn little bits at a time and to not overwhelm yourself and to really master some things in a really short period of time and to sort of have that on your brain. Oh, I paid for this course. I got to do this stuff. Next week another module's coming out. So there's some fire under your butt to create change in a way you just never have before. So it offers something that books or, that blog you read last week that had a great tip in it, that they just don't. The support to stick with those things. So, like I've said before, information is not power, execution is. Or knowledge is not power, execution is. And so check out the Love, Sex, Kids course if you haven't already. It's discounted right now, $250, so I don't want you to miss out on that. And that all ends and the course closes tomorrow night at midnight. So if you're interested, go to www.micahross.com/store.